Hi guys, I think there are a number of things, two in particular, that are creating fertile land for Nigel Farage and Reform to grow. One is the misconception that Donald Trump is going to boost US manufacturing and deliver high-paying jobs to America. And the second is the longer British people feel that things are not improving, the more they're likely to look for an alternative. However, what Nigel Farage is offering doesn't make a lot of sense, either from a political point of view or a practical one. He wants to reindustrialise Britain. Right.
So we import gas, we import oil, we've closed down nearly all of our steel making, nearly all of our refining, all of our aluminium production, most of our chemical production, and it's all gone. Do you know why? Net zero.
No, not because of net zero, because of political decisions back in the 1980s taken by somebody that Nigel Farage deeply admires, Margaret Thatcher. She decided what we're going to do is deindustrialise. We're going to move away from heavy industry and instead move to a service-based economy. And we saw the deindustrialization take place over the last number of decades. That's why there isn't a huge car industry in the United Kingdom. That's why there isn't any more heavy industry like steel and others, because a lot of it has been outsourced to China. So you import stuff from China or you import stuff from India. And the economy is more service-based. That was a political decision, nothing to do with net zero. Now, ironically, net zero is going to create jobs because you're moving to the industry of the future. You're moving to an industry that will create massive numbers of jobs, massive savings for ordinary people. For example, insulating homes is part of net zero. That's going to create jobs for sectors who have to put in the insulation, and it's actually going to save the average person a lot more money on their energy bills. But Nigel Farage is not talking about that.
Pushing up the cost of electricity, our prices are 6 times that for a manufacturer that it is in the USA.
Because it's nothing to do with net zero, once again. This is the problem of having the price of energy coupled to gas. Now, what Nigel Farage will say, what we do is just extract more gas. But as I've covered before on this channel, it's more expensive to extract oil and gas from the North Sea. It's cheaper to get it from abroad. But gas is more expensive than renewables. So it makes more sense to focus on renewables. Now, why are energy prices so high? Because, once again, energy production, or the cost of energy, is coupled to the price of gas. So if the price of gas is up, then the UK is paying more for its energy in general. So even if you're producing more renewable energy and it's linked to the price of that is linked to the price of gas, then you're obviously going to pay more. So it makes sense to decouple from gas and allow the market to decide, and then you'll end up with cheaper energy.
And the Reform pledge is we are going to reindustrialise Britain. All the while we need oil, gas, steel. Let's produce it here, ourselves, in this country. Surely that's common sense, whatever you think about climate change.
It's not common sense because you support a policy of keeping people out. So how are you going to reindustrialise? In order to reindustrialise, you'd have to create jobs. You'd have to fill those jobs. Where are you going to fill those jobs? How are you going to find the staff to fill those jobs? How are you going to find the builders to build new power stations or to build infrastructure? Where are you going to find these? You supported Brexit. You want to keep immigrants out. He keeps talking about we want to reduce immigration. So how are you going to reindustrialize the country if you are not able to access the workers? How are you going to attract the investment if you're saying we don't want to bring in staff from abroad? We don't have enough staff in the country. We don't want to bring them in from abroad. So how are you going to attract the investment necessary to reindustrialize? It doesn't just work by Nigel Farage saying it. You actually have to put in place measures and investment to attract investment. Public investment. This is a party that wants to reduce the size of government. They want to reduce public investment. But for some reason they think, well, we'll fill the gap with private investment and at the same time reduce these industries from accessing the workers they need. This is nonsensical. Nothing here makes any sense whatsoever. And of course, this is pandering to people who don't accept the clients of the science of climate change, and people who don't want to bring in immigrants from abroad to actually reindustrialize Britain. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.